Welcome to the Ingaged Podcast, the show for business owners who want straight talk on technology, data, and the systems and solutions that keep their companies moving. Each episode tackles a real problem, maps out practical solutions, and delivers proven tactics you can use to choose the right tools and run a profitable business.
Tim, thanks so much for joining me today on our Ingaged Podcast. Thanks for spending time while at Top 500, breaking away.
You got it. I'm happy to be here. As a matter of fact, I think when I first met your company, it was here.
I wouldn't doubt it. It was our first. So when we got into this industry, it was the first conference we went to. And we weren't sure if conferences were going to be a thing. And in this industry, they're huge. And we crashed the party. And the guys at Top 500 allowed us to kind of just be on the floor, but not talk to anybody. It was great. So it was a huge thing for us to get rolling in this industry. Tell us, Tim, a little bit about yourself and how you landed in the home improvement business.
Well, gosh, back in about the 80s, got into window replacement business. So the window replacement business was going good, having fun, making some money. I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. And then I saw a commercial on a 1984 Super Bowl. And what the commercial was, it was for the introduction of the Macintosh computer. And for some reason, that commercial struck me. I don't know why. Never had turned on a computer, never had any interest in computer. But I thought, have you seen that commercial?
So I worked for Apple for 8 years, and it was very formative in me also getting my path over to Apple. So I remember that commercial very, very well.
Because I thought, I don't know what they just advertised, because it's very unusual. I said, but it looks like they're out to change the world.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, they did.
Indeed.
But what happened is that stuck in my head. Meantime, doing the window business, having fun. But I thought, gosh, that computer thing. And about 3 years went by before I decided to take a trip to the local Apple store, because that's the only place you could buy them then.
Yeah.
And I bought a 9-inch Macintosh computer and a laser writer printer. Computer was $34.95. Laser writer was $37.95 or $67.95. And I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing. Probably make some newspaper ads, yellow page ads, and things like that. But it had a programming language in there. Had a tutorial. And I said, well, I'll try this. So what it did is it said, type this on mouse up. Then it said, hit return. And then it said, type the word beep, hit return, next line, end mouse up, and then hit return. I looked at that and I thought, gosh, I think I know, I don't know anything about computers, but I think I know what might happen if I click this mouse. Clicked it and that darn thing beeped.
And you were hooked forever.
Oh my gosh, I thought, is it this easy?
Right.
So the next thing I did, I said, let's try something else. On mouse up, generate leads, end mouse up. Yeah, that didn't work. So I took about the next 3 years fiddling with that programming language, figured it out on my own, and created what we now know as a CRM. Those letters weren't even put together back then. One day a Windows supplier came in and said, what's that? I said, well, it's a computer. It's not many people had them. I said, what does it do? So I showed it to him. He says, that's pretty cool. Would you mind coming up and showing my boss that? Which I did. His boss says, I got a dealer meeting coming up. Want to show them? I did. So there's about 100 dealers in the room. A 9-inch black and white Macintosh in front of the room. No projector.
Everybody looking over.
Yeah, talked to them for 7 hours.
Oh my God.
I think most of them thought I was from Mars. But 8 of them raised their hand and said, can I have one? And that started what turned into, first off, the name of the product was Windows Seller, till Bill Gates found out we're using the word Windows in software.
Oh, man. Yeah.
He decided to let us know, don't do that.
Little cease and desist letter from the lawyers. Okay.
So it turned into what many people know as Market Sharp nowadays. And did that for a quarter of a decade. It was acquired by private equity. Then I moved to another company in Wisconsin called Paradigm. So that brings us up to today. Sorry for the long story.
No, it's a great story. It's amazing now, in terms of writing an app. So over the last 2 weekends, using AI, I wrote an app to track my workouts.
Okay.
And literally, so what took you 3 years took me about 6 hours while watching college football, prompting AI to build an app for my workout tracker. We've come a long way, baby.
Speaking of AI, I've said for years, but people would always ask me, what's in the next upgrade of Market Sharp and all this? I said, you're going to love it. It's going to have one button in the middle of the screen. The button's going to say print money. Never got it done.
So you've been in this space for a very long time, since the 80s. Now, what do you see going on today that excites you?
Well, over all these years, this business was totally a bunch of fragmented little guys, each doing their own thing. Then you had a couple guys figure some things out, and they got a little bigger. Example would be 1-800-Hanson's a few years ago.
Yep, Brian Elias.
Yeah, and he did good. But now, what you got is you got multi-billion-dollar companies out there in this space.
Yeah,
and it's just so exciting for me to see that after going through this all these years of everything being so fragmented. And I've asked myself the question, why is this? Why now has this blown up? And I think, Dean, and maybe you can add some comments to this. It's two things in my mind. It's people and tech.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's caused these companies to be able to scale like they've scaled and turn into these mammoth companies that are out in the home improvement industry now. So that's certainly one thing I've seen change in the past few years.
I think the other side of that too is you have companies who can look like the big guys.
You're right.
Even though they're not the big guys.
Yep.
So they can either attract the attention of the big guys, they can compete with them if they want to stay small.
Yep.
I think there's a little optionality to those more regional home improvement players who say, you know what? I'm really happy with my $20 million business, which is a great business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sell the private equity. I want to maintain the family atmosphere of what we do. That's great.
Yeah.
I think technology is that equalizer, right? It levels the playing field for a lot of people.
You're right. And the people part of it, I think another thing that's caused the industry to be able to scale like it has is a lot of these companies have figured out their people are every bit a customer of their company as the people that buy their windows, siding, and so forth.
Interesting.
In other words, they're so people-oriented and making sure they're offering their employees a great opportunity and a great life.
Yeah. We at Ingage, we are very particular about language that we use to talk about our teams. We don't call them departments. We call them teams.
Okay.
We don't call them employees. We call them team members.
Got it.
Which, I think it's nomenclature. Some people don't get hung up on that, but I'm super intentional about it because I want to build a great team. I spent my whole life playing sports, so maybe I'm a little biased in that whole view of things, but to me, that's so important. What specific shifts do you see happening in the market today? So you talked about technology being a great mediator for a lot of things. What other shifts do you see?
Well, I think what's happened is customers nowadays are jumping on board with these home improvement companies much farther down the buyer's path to purchase than they used to. Because if you think about it, a few decades ago, if you wanted to learn about a Ford automobile, what did you have to do?
You had to go to the dealership.
You had to go to the dealership.
That's right.
Now, heck, most people who buy cars know more than the salespeople that sell them cars.
Yeah.
So that is a huge shift that's out there, is where the buyers are jumping on the buyer path to purchase. And it's how we deal with that is going to make the difference of how successful we are.
Yeah.
So important. So important. I think expectations customers have is different now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they expect companies to have technology. Of course, Ingage is a great example of using technology in a presentation rather than a big 6-inch wide binder of unorganized pictures. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But one more thing I think, and I love seeing this, so maybe you've seen it too, Dean, is I see a lot of the home improvement companies are jumping on board to the importance of transparency in everything they do. See, for years, it was never the thing to do in the home improvement industry, for example, on a website, or if somebody calls you, to give them an idea about what the products cost.
Yeah.
You save that for when you can get in the home and build value.
It's like a big secret.
Yeah, it's a secret. I see that changing.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, if you're looking to buy whatever you're looking to buy, home improvements, car, whatever, what's the first thing you're interested in knowing?
The price.
Yes. And that's what we want to withhold from these people for
right.
some reason. So I love the idea that that's changing.
Do you remember the Saturn
I
cars?
do.
And their whole business model was, we're just going to tell you what the price is, come in and buy it or not buy it. I think we've gotten to that a little bit more, especially in the car industry, of just saying there's not much mystery on the price side.
Exactly.
So if you were going to give some advice to people who are listening on 2026 is right around the corner. And what would you give them? What are some ways that they can sharpen their saw heading into 2026? Or if they're listening to this sometime in 2026, what should they have been doing already?
Man, we could go down a lot of different paths here, but let's focus on one thing. And this is something I'm amazed it took me so long to actually figure this out. And what that is the importance of clarity in the whole marketing and sales process. Because I remember years ago, and this is what bums me out, that I didn't remember this all these years and act on it more. I remember consuming all sorts of sales training from an individual named Zig Ziglar.
Oh, one of the classics.
One of the best. And I remember him saying, a confused mind automatically says no. And I thought to myself, wow, if that isn't true. And when I think of a lot of the things that many of us in this business put consumers through in the marketing process and the presentation process, it's confusing. And when they're confused, they're not gonna move forward. So simplify everything if you can. And I'm talking about beginning at marketing, the initial content.
The website. Could you answer their question? So you said it earlier, they're going to come to you prepared. The question is, are they coming to you well prepared or ill prepared?
That's right.
So are you actually answering the questions that they have on your website?
Right.
And maybe they're not for you, but what's better, that they come to your website and realize that you can't solve their problem, or that they just sign up and bring someone out to the house to waste their time?
Well, interestingly enough, at the event we're at right now, the Top 500 event, the first keynote speaker tomorrow is Marcus Sheridan. He wrote a book called They Ask, You Answer.
Favorite books.
Oh my gosh. So on target.
Yes.
And I think that's so important in the marketing side, is clarity there. Let people know what to expect. And then you get into the presentation side. Of course, that's where Ingage is involved in the product that I work with, Paradigm Vendo. And that's where confusion can really set in if you're not careful. So you want to have, I call it this, you want to give them a guided shopping experience. Not a sales presentation that's going to last 3 hours, a guided shopping experience that takes them down a path that, if you did your job right on the needs assessment aspect prior to that, what's of interest to them and what their needs and wants are. So make your presentation match that. And do it with clarity. I remember somebody told me years ago, he said, there's 5 magic words when you begin your presentation. And this is great advice. He says, here's what they are. 5 magic words are, this is how we work. So you start your presentation with that, and then you tell them what's about to happen, because they don't know.
Well, you want to build their confidence that what you said at the beginning, this is how we work. You give them confidence along that path that says, he wasn't lying. He's 100% right. And I actually believe him more. And he's built so much value with me that, there's a price associated. Now, I'm not sure people go to that level, but now I'm more eager to hear the price. I understand the value that this person can bring.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you talked about clarity. The C I use a lot when talking to people about Ingage is confidence. Confidence of the sales rep. A confident sales rep builds confidence with the client as well. And if both people are confident with the information, the sale is a foregone conclusion. It's inevitable because what comes with confidence? Trust.
I was just going to mention that. I'm so happy to see the industry getting back to that the most important thing you can do is build trust with that customer.
That's right.
Along with it is going to come their business. So so clarity.
So speaking about their business, how should business leaders think about technology? We're both in the technology side of the home improvement industry. How should business leaders think about their tech stack and maybe even upgrading or replacing things, or even, we do this all the time. We remove things that aren't providing value.
Exactly. Well, when you talk to people out there as far as tech goes, it's exciting. A lot of things they can use, but they're pulling their hair out. Because I just saw the latest chief MarTech That's an organization that does this every year. In 2025, they identified it, and it's pretty cool. It's actually a graphic that has all the logos of all these companies that provide marketing technology solutions. Any idea how many there are now?
Oh my gosh. It's an eye chart. You can barely read the logos. It's so many.
It's 15,384. Yeah. So go, make your pick of those and make it work.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge.
Yeah.
So you got to go into this with a clear head, not just jump at this shiny new object thing that you many times jump after just because it sounds cool. Make sure it's satisfying a need that your company has.
That's right.
And make sure there's some metrics in back of it so you can track it. And then also make sure you vet out whatever vendor you're considering to do business with this deal.
Yeah.
And my experience in this business, not always the case, but most often is these companies that are experienced in this industry are more likely to provide things that are useful for you. And, naturally, we're probably about running out of time now, so I really don't have time to get into this, but you got the AI thing around. When you see that 15,384 MarTech solutions this year, with AI, what's that going to do?
Yeah. What's the next?
Oh my gosh.
It's insane.
So trying to make sense of that, get some counseling on this. If you really want to scale your business, you're going to have staff members that can handle this stuff. Because in past years and for smaller companies, oftentimes you just let an employee that has another job try to handle this stuff. This is too important for that anymore.
You know what we did? We went out and found a recent college grad who was a developer.
Okay.
Had real hard time finding a role as an entry-level developer because AI is disrupting that space.
Yep.
And we brought him in as an AI consultant.
Cool.
To give him some skills, but also to help us with, like you said, that focus on where is AI going to be able to play a role.
Yeah.
So Tim, one final question for you.
Yeah.
What tech tool is your favorite tech tool right now?
This is probably going to surprise you. It's probably not one of the newfangled shiny new object ones.
Yeah.
And I can't say Ingage, right? Or at your NC Paradigm Vendo.
That's right. You can't say us, can't say you.
Then I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to do two. It might surprise you. Project Mapit and Company Cam.
Those two solutions combined, amazing.
They are amazing.
Yeah.
Anybody that does not have them is missing out.
Yeah.
So they've been around a while, so it's not like they're brand new, but they've helped a ton of people. So
yeah, for sure.
That's what I would suggest.
So Tim, last thing, any final words for the folks who are watching? I appreciate you so much being here.
Well, final words is I'm probably going back to that clarity thing. Think through everything you do in your business when it's customer facing and customer related and clear it up. And find the right tools that can help you accomplish this. Determine what you want to do with your business. Don't just let it grow to its heart's content. Have a plan for it. What's my 5-year plan and stuff like this? Do I want to look like some of these really large companies? Do I want to scale it? Or am I happy at that $5 million, $10 million, $20 million place? Figure out those things and then work towards it.
That's awesome. Tim, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
Thanks for listening to the Ingaged Podcast. If today's conversation helped you level up your business, follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Know someone who'd benefit? Pass it along. While you're at it, drop us a review and visit Ingage.io to learn how to create, share, and measure your way to success. Until next time.